people are starting to compare 2023 to 2008. They're like, we are headed for the cliff. We were in 2008, history is repeating itself, and it begs the question, are we about to financially go over a cliff? If you've got your retirement sitting in 401k, IRA, if that's what you're doing for your retirement, this is probably of major concern to you. So we're gonna get to the bottom of it, and I'm gonna give you my prediction on what's happening in 2023.
One shot, now the future is yours. Go! I'm turning dreams into reality. Yeah, it's one shot, now the future is yours. Go!
Will 2023 be worse than 2008? Well, we're actually going to talk about Michael Burry for just a moment, because in 2015, Christian Bale came out in this movie, The Big Short, and in it, he was the wild guy that was predicting all this is about to go down, and then they made a movie about it because the dude made over $100 million by predicting The Big Short. What is he saying is going to happen right now in 2023? It's kind of freaky.
I want to short the housing market.
Really? But the housing market is rock solid.
Greenspan just said, bubbles are regional, defaults are rare.
Nobody wanted to listen to Michael Burry, and he's come to be known as the weatherman, because if you understand what shorting is, basically everyone thought the market's gonna keep going up, and this dude basically said, I'm gonna bet that it's gonna go down, and he won big, and he helped his investors literally clear $700 million, giving him the name, the weatherman. Now, kind of strange that because by training, he was a medical neurologist and he got into financial management in the early 2000s, and he made a huge name for himself. And I got to tell you right now, he's on Twitter and he's coming back and he's saying, hey guys, everyone, pay attention. 2023, it's going to be a repeat. And it's kind of strange because did Michael Burry just get lucky once and have a huge financial win? Does he have a reason for fame or significance to want to predict it all over again? Because if this dude is right 2 times in a row, first of all, that might mean that he's onto something. We're going to check out some of his charts. But first of all, it really is about this. History runs in cycles, and right now he's claiming that we have a cycle that is about to repeat itself, because over the last few years, he's become increasingly bold on his bearish market predictions, and it's been met with the similar pushback that he faced in 2006, 2007. And the big question is, can the weatherman predict the same lightning strike twice in a row? Because if he's right about this one, we are in for a doozy. The reason why you need to care about this is that 2023 is likely going to be a really big deciding year. If you're a subscriber on my channel, you know I'm all about that real estate. You know I'm all about owning businesses. And I'm not a huge fan of 401ks and IRAs. That doesn't mean I don't have money in the stock market. There is a certain amount of money that I have put into companies that I believe are going to be the nexts. And so I'm watching this and I care about this, but I want you to understand that there's a difference between a correlation between the real estate market and the financial markets. Like in most recessions, if you have your financial markets drop, that does not mean that the real estate market drops. And right now, while we've seen a softening of the market, we are still missing about 4+ million homes. And at some point, we have to see that through. We've got supply demand issues. And so right now, I think that real estate is going to be on a very separate track, like it is most of the time, from the financial markets. But with that, what is Burry really saying then about what's going to happen in 2023 with the financial markets? Well, we all know that what comes up must come down, and here's what Burry is essentially saying. He's stacking up some of our historical charts, and he says, we are on the rise, getting ready for a really big correction. In white, you see the current S&P run, and then in green, you see it before the Great Depression. Look how similar those look. And in yellow, you see the run right before the dot-com bubble. These are some of the major growth patterns, and he's stacking up and saying, hey, what we're seeing right now is just the beginning before we have a really big crash, this crash being bigger than the last. Well, just like before, a lot of the financial analysts are saying, Michael Burry, we think you a little bit crazy, because many market analysts are pointing to current market rallies and moderate volatility as a sign that the economy is on the rise. In other words, like, hey, we're seeing these rallies, we're seeing this pushback up, we're probably safe, right? And Michael Burry is basically saying, no, it's absolutely the opposite. The bottom isn't even in sight. Here's what Burry's doing. He's taking a look at the dot-com rally. He's also taking a look at the rally before the Great Depression. And essentially, as things got worse, right when things start to bounce back, everyone wants to say, no, this is the reality. We're coming out of this. We're coming back up. And he says, no, even after a cat dies rolling down the hill, it's gonna bounce up a couple of times on its way down to the very bottom. Meow.
Meow?
Burry isn't just saying that, hey, I'm predicting that the market is not recovering, that it's gonna go down, it's another bear market. He's being far more specific than that. He's actually adding up all the data points and he's predicting how much lower the market is expecting to go. He actually has a theory that says that what we're going to experience in 23 next year is actually going to be 15% lower than the COVID low. And if you think about that, that means that this market drop is going to be very significant. Every day I come out with new content that is designed to increase your financial intelligence, really awaken the financial genius within. I'm teaching you about what you should be doing as the economy moves, shifts, and changes. And I do have some specific recommendations that you need to pay attention to, because if any of these predictions come true, there's a lot of people that are going to be in a world of hurt. And here's why. We have a really nasty negative feedback loop that is kicking up. Because we as the consumers, we get to pay the price. You see, the government comes in and they kick off this high inflation because they start printing money because they think it will solve problems. But then they have to do something to gain control of that high inflation, and it's always increase the interest rates, and then we suffer into what comes next. Well, that ends up being a double-edged sword for consumers because we're hit with a lower monetary value, meaning that our paychecks and our savings don't go as far, but then we have higher debt payments, right? I mean, the higher interest rates means that we have more money going to servicing the debt instead of making us money in the market. So less consumer buying power leads to less consumer spending, thus lowering corporate profits and devaluing our stocks. This makes it harder for companies to raise money, thus leading to a tightening of the books and eventually layoffs. Layoffs lead to less consumer buying power. The cycle repeats itself. Bottom line is, this is really bad for you and I, and as long as you participate in their system, relying on their system over time, this just hurts us financially worse and worse and worse. You've got to figure out how to take your own personal economy and make yourself responsible for growing it, because their system at a residual level makes it harder and harder and harder for you and I to win, which is why financial self-reliance is what everything I do and teach on social media is really all about. How do you control your own financial future in light of what might happen if Burry is right in 2023? Listen, it's interesting to keep up with Burry and 2023 and predictions and what might happen. And here's what I want to share with you. If you rely on that system can hurt you. You may want to upgrade to a better system. And in my book that I came out with this year, Have It All, this is the 5th book I've written. It's a bestseller. And in it, I teach 5 things that you should be putting your money into that are not nearly as market dependent. It provides the same insulation for you as it does for me, which means this. When it's the worst of times, it actually, like it was for Burry, I mean, dude, the dude called it. He's like, I'm gonna short the market. I'm gonna make all this money. And that's what I do in the game of real estate. That's what I do in the game of business. There's a way for you to control your own financial destiny instead of just saying, well, I guess it's in the hands of other people making these decisions, whether the government prints more money or whether they increase interest rates. That stuff really doesn't impact me. For you to actually thrive and get out of survival mode, you need a different financial map, a different playbook. And this book is a free gift from me to you. If you click the link below, I'm going to ask that you cover the shipping on it, but the book itself, it's full color. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to teach 5 ways that you combat our current financial market and system. And the book is a game plan for how you become financially free on your own, not over 30 or 50 years, but how you do it in 5 or 10 years. And I'm telling you right now, there's no financial information out there for 2023 like you're going to find in this book that really does have the power to give you real financial control over your financial future. Click the link, grab a copy of this book, and give yourself the financial education that can set you free from all of this mayhem, all of this chaos, and really put you in the driver's seat of your financial future. So earlier I said that the real estate market doesn't always coincide with the financial markets, and I believe that that is especially true with what's coming up in 2023. And if you want to know why, I made a video for you, and I'm going to help you understand why real estate done the right way is about as recession-proof as it gets.